I don't know, and I am terrified to know what happened to Mark at that cabin. I hope you can make sense of what happened. Last fall, Mark, Lisa, and I, who all work at the same marketing place here in Denver, took off for a weekend at a cabin in Colorado. We'd just finished a huge project and needed a break from the city. Mark found this cabin online. Nothing fancy, just a chill spot in the Rockies. The pics looked good. The reviews weren't terrible, so we booked it. We took off on a Friday afternoon trying to miss the crazy weekend traffic. It was about a 3-hour drive, and the roads got super narrow and bumpy as we got closer. The GPS kept cutting out, but we finally found the turnoff, a dirt road almost hidden by bushes. Lisa looked out the window and asked, "You sure this is the right way?" Mark, looking at his phone, said, "Yep, map says so." I shrugged. Only one way to know. We bounced along the dirt road for a few miles, and then the cabin popped into view. We unpacked the car and got settled. Inside, it was pretty cozy. A small living room with a stone fireplace, a basic kitchen, and 2 bedrooms upstairs. No TV, but we brought games and books, hoping to switch off for a few days. That first night was great. We cooked dinner, shared some wine, and sat on the porch, looking at the stars. It was super quiet, except for the leaves rustling and an owl hooting way off. I was making coffee in the morning, and I saw a small door under the stairs. I hadn't seen it the night before. "Hey, check this out," I said. Mark came over. "Maybe a closet?" I opened it up. It creaked like crazy, and there was this little space stuffed with cleaning stuff, old coats, and a pile of dusty books. One caught my eye, a leather journal, old and worn. "Looks like someone's diary," I said, holding it up. Lisa was like, "Probably the owner's. We shouldn't read it." "Yeah, you're right," I said, but I was curious. I opened it and read a few pages. The writing was tidy but faded. It was written around 10 years ago. Mark said, "Just quick look, could be interesting." I sat at the table and started reading out loud. June 5th. Been here a month, and being alone is both good and bad. The woods are quiet, but I feel like I'm not the only one here. Lisa said, "Sounds creepy," but she was joking. I kept going. June 12th, heard footsteps on the roof last night. Probably animals, but it kept me up. Need to fix that hole by the chimney. We laughed that off, but the entries got weirder as I read on. July 1st. The whispers are back. Can't understand them, but they're coming from the vents. I covered them up, but it didn't stop. Lisa got serious. "Okay, that's enough. This is freaking me out." Mark smirked. "It's just some old diary. They were probably messing with whoever reads it later." I put the book down. "Yeah, maybe. Still weird." We went hiking and took some pictures that day. The weather was awesome and the air was fresh. We were tired when we got back to the cabin. That night after dinner, we played cards in the living room. The wind was strong and the trees were moving, making shadows in the windows. Mark went to the bathroom. A few minutes later, we heard a thump upstairs. "Mark, you good?" I shouted. No answer. Lisa looked at me. "Maybe we should check on him." We went upstairs, and the bathroom door was open, but Mark wasn't there. Then he jumped out from one of the bedrooms, scaring us. "Ha!" he said. "Not funny," Lisa said, hitting him on the arm. We laughed and went back downstairs. While playing cards, I thought I heard tapping. At first, I thought it was just branches on the roof, but it kept going. "You guys hear that?" I asked. They stopped and listened. The tapping kept going, sounding like it was coming from above. "Probably just the wind," Mark said. Then it changed, a scraping sound, like something moving across the roof. Lisa whispered, "That's not the wind." I stood up. "I'll check it out." "Careful," she said. I grabbed a flashlight and went outside. It was cold, and the wind was strong. I shined the light on the roof, but I didn't see anything. The trees were rustling, and I thought I saw something move in the branches. Mark yelled from the doorway, "See anything?" "Nope," I said, turning back to the cabin. Then the light caught something on the ground, footprints going around the side of the house. They were faint but clear. "Guys, come here," I said. They came over and we followed the prints to the back of the cabin. They went into the trees. "Could be an animal," Mark said. Lisa said, "An animal wearing boots?" We looked at each other, not feeling good. We went back inside and locked all the doors and windows. The mood had changed, so we decided to go to bed. I couldn't sleep. Every sound in the cabin seemed louder. Around midnight, I heard whispering, quiet, and I couldn't tell what it was saying. I sat up, trying to hear it. It seemed to be coming from the air vent. I got up and knelt by it. The whispering kept going, but I still couldn't understand it. I got a bad feeling. Then there was this loud bang from downstairs. I heard Mark and Lisa in the hallway. Lisa asked, "What was that?" Mark said, "Sounded like the kitchen." We went downstairs carefully. The kitchen light was flickering, and stuff was all over the floor, pots, pans, and everything from the cupboard. Lisa wondered, "Did an animal get in? How?" "Everything's locked," I said. We checked the cabin, but nothing was out of place. We were spooked, so we stayed in the living room for the rest of the night. Morning couldn't come fast enough. We talked about leaving early. Mark said, "Probably just some people messing with us. Locals." I said, "People who can get into a locked cabin?" Lisa sighed. "I don't feel safe here." Mark didn't want to, but said, "Okay, let's pack up and go." We started packing. Mark was acting weird, not paying attention and just looking at the woods. "You good?" I asked. "Yeah, just didn't sleep great," he said, not looking at me. We loaded the car and then Mark said, "I forgot my wallet. I'll be right back." He went back inside. He didn't come back for a while. Lisa asked, "What's taking so long?" I said, "I'll go look." I found Mark in the living room looking at the fireplace. "Mark, what's going on?" He turned to me slowly. "We can't leave." "What do you mean?" He pointed to the journal on the fireplace. It was opened up. It says we can't leave. I went over slowly. "It's just a book, Mark. Some old stories." He shook his head. "No, it's a warning." I looked at the pages. The writing was different, rougher. The last thing written said, "They tried to leave, but the woods wouldn't let them. Now they're part of it." I felt sick to my stomach. "Did you write this?" He laughed, but it wasn't his normal laugh. "Why would I do that?" I backed away. "Let's go." He grabbed my arm, harder than I thought he could. "We can't get out. It's already here." I was scared. "Mark, you're freaking me out." Lisa came to the doorway. "What's happening?" "Something's wrong with Mark," I said. She looked at him and got scared as well. "Mark, let him go." He let go and stepped back, not focusing his eyes. "It's too late," he said. Then he ran out the back door and into the woods. "Mark!" We yelled and ran after him. He was fast and disappeared into the trees. We called out, but he didn't answer. Lisa said, "We gotta find him," and she sounded like she was about to freak out. We searched for an hour, but he was gone. We were tired and scared, so we went back to the cabin to call for help. Of course, there was no signal. I said, "Maybe we should drive to town and get help." We went to the car, and the tires were slashed. Badly. Lisa whispered, "This can't be real," and started to cry. We were stuck. When it started getting dark, we blocked the doors and windows with stuff from inside the cabin. We realized how bad it was. Lisa asked, "You think Mark did this?" I said, "I don't know, but something's wrong." It got dark, and the whispers came back, louder now, all around the cabin. Footsteps were on the roof, and shadows were moving in the windows. We tried to stay calm, close together. Then someone knocked on the door. "Who is it?" I called out, my voice shaking. Mark's voice came, "Let me in." We looked at each other. Lisa asked, "Mark, what happened?" "Are you good?" He said again, "Open the door." I went to the door, but I didn't like it. "What's the password?" I asked, remembering a joke we had about using a password in scary movies. He paused. "Just open the door," he said, more forceful. Lisa whispered, "That's not Mark." I demanded, "Who are you?" No sound. Then a low laugh that scared me to the bone. We stayed up all night listening to the sounds, scratching, whispering, and that laugh. When it finally got light, the sounds stopped. We moved the stuff from the door and went outside carefully. The car was still there, with the tires slashed. Mark was gone. We started walking down the road, hoping to find someone. After a few miles, a ranger showed up in his truck. We waved him down and told him everything. They searched, but never found Mark. They asked us a lot of questions, but we didn't have any answers. Back in Denver, things went back to normal, but we couldn't forget what happened. Lisa and I didn't talk about it much, and we didn't know what to do about Mark. Months went by. I got a package without a return address. It was the journal from the cabin. I opened it to the last page, and there was something new written in Mark's writing. "I'm home now."